All right, we're doing an emergency live stream for free agency. This is one of the most shocking developments in quite some time. But this is legit. This is official. This is a real thing that happened. I was in between getting ready for the USA-Italy game with the World Baseball Classic coming up in an hour. And, yeah, this is official. I'm not sure I've ever made this stream public. Hang on. Give me a second here. All right. Now we're good. All right. Appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. So, I was getting ready for the USA-Italy baseball game, which we're going to be live for in an hour. This stream will redirect you to that stream when the time comes. This is official. The trade has not gone through yet with Maxx Crosby because no trades can go through until tomorrow, 4 o'clock tomorrow, because it's the start of the league year. So this trade was never official, but this is true. This is official. The Maxx Crosby trade has been voided. The Maxx Crosby trade is void. There will be no Maxx Crosby trade. Maxx Crosby had some offers from the Cowboys, from the Jaguars. The Ravens have backed out of their agreement. Again, there was no trade that was made official until... you can't make a trade official until the start of the league year at 4 o'clock. What does this mean? I have no idea. Physical, maybe? Maybe they failed the physical. Maybe they thought... Maybe the Ravens were skeptical of it. Utah Valley played the million. Man, yep, they're going to play in the tournament, man. But this is official. This is a developing story. It literally just happened a few moments ago. Maxx Crosby not going to the Raiders, or the Ravens anymore. Backed out of the trade. I'll put a poll up. Where do you think he's going to go? I'll put some options up there. He stays with the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have had a good free agency. Maybe they got cold feet and we're like, you know, we can compete this year. I don't know what is happening. I don't know why this happened, but there is no trade. Again, nothing can be official anyway until Wednesday at 4. We know with Maxx Crosby, same with the Raiders, I don't know. We know with the trades, obviously nothing can be made official till 4 o'clock. We know that the Jaguars were offering some picks. The Cowboys were heavily in the mix for Maxx Crosby. But the Ravens have backed out of the agreement. Maybe they think they can get a little bit more. Again, nothing's official until Wednesday at 4, so they have every right to do this. It is a bit bizarre. We've seen people change their minds before the start of the league year. Frank Gore with the Eagles going to the Colts. We've seen it happen. We do not know why the trade fell through. He is recovering from a medical injury. We know that he is recovering from an injury. What is odd about this is that the Ravens did not sign Owe. They let him go to the Commanders. I know he was on the Chargers last year, but he was a free agent. Jesse Minter was the DC last year with the Chargers, and he got the most out of Owe. So the Ravens miss out on the pass rushers, thinking they were going to get Crosby. Then they back out of the agreement for some reason. And again, we do not know why. Maybe it was a failed physical. Maybe there were some issues with the knee. Don't know if it's a medical issue or not. Maybe the terms will change. Maybe. But right now, Maxx Crosby is still a member of the Raiders. Right now, he is still on the Raiders. Again, nothing can be made official until 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow when the league year starts. Legal tampering started yesterday at 12, but you are allowed to back out of trades and agreements because nothing's been made official yet. Troy Mercer, they have? All right. Yeah, this is true. So if you're just tuning in, this is 100% official, confirmed by the Raiders themselves. They put out a statement. Again, it's very vague right now. His video is like milk. Yep. Again, this is the... Oh, that's not the statement. Maybe he dice rated. Maybe. We don't know why he backed out, but... I should note also, the Cowboys have not done a lot this free agency period. The Jaguars have not done a lot this free agency period. They were in the running for Crosby. Apparently, the top 3 offers were the Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Cowboys. Now, the Ravens are off the table. The Raiders are blaming the Ravens for this. The Ravens were the one... Yeah, I believe Rusty's very up a curse. The Ravens backed out of the agreement. The Raiders were fine giving up 2 first-round picks, or getting 2 first-round picks for an aging defensive end. The Ravens backed out of the agreement. Now, here's the thing. I think the Raiders will be okay with this. I think the Raiders are going to be okay with this, seeing as when you got the Raiders, you got a lot of offers from the Cowboys that were pretty similar. The Jaguars, pretty similar, I'm assuming, in terms of the offer. Obviously, no 2026 first-round pick, but the Cowboys made some big offer for him. They were in on him, so I still think you can get multiple first-round picks. This was a Ravens decision, which makes what the Ravens are doing very interesting. I think he's going to go with the Cowboys. I think he'll go with the Cowboys. I think he will go with the Cowboys at this point. Because here's the thing. As Spencer to a disastrous offseason for the Ravens, yeah, I like Minner, but you let Owe walk. We know Owe is a double-digit sack guy with Minner because he was there with the Chargers. Has something like this ever happened in the NFL? Well, we saw like Frank Gore back out of a free agency deal. We've seen trades fall through. We've seen trades go through. Nothing of this magnitude. Nothing of this magnitude. This is by far the biggest trade that has fallen through ever. In terms of trades that fell through, unless we're talking AJ McCarron with a fax machine, this is the biggest trade I can ever remember and think of that fell through. I think he's going Cowboys at this point. I think he's going Cowboys. But you look at free agency, there's no one left unless the Ravens are going for Hendrickson. Unless the Ravens are going to go for Hendrickson now, be like, wait a sec, Hendrickson's still on the market. I could see, so just spitballing here, I could see the Ravens thinking, wait a second, Crosby and Hendrickson are pretty similar players. Crosby, we have to give up 2 first-round picks for him, and he's coming off the knee injury, about the same age as Hendrickson. Let's put all our chips in the front of the table for Hendrickson, because he's still on the market. Yeah, I wonder if he stays with the Raiders. Yeah, although you want to start the rebuild. He doesn't fit the timeline. Disaster for the Ravens. I think they get Hendrickson. If they get Hendrickson, it's a little bit different. Because they are like, okay, wait a second. Hendrickson versus Crosby. Similar players, but one of them you give up 2 first-round picks. Another one, not so much. Right, Breeze with the Dolphins, but that was free agency. That wasn't a trade. Right, Richard Dent's supposed to have the Packers. It never happened. Went to the Niners. Yep. But that's free agency. This is a trade. Right, Frank Gore, Drew Brees, because of the physical, Richard Dent. Calais Campbell almost backed out of the Jaguars deal to go with the Broncos in 2017. The Cowboys take him. There's a problem with him. Yep. But went to the Bears. Yeah, I think Cowboys right now. I think right now, Trey Hendrickson could be the option. We have over 500 in the chat. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. If you like what you see, folks, hit the like button, subscribe. Look at the cap space that Baltimore has. They have $20 million available in cap space. Yeah, the whack, it's so poorly run. The Ravens right now have $20 million available in cap space. You can use that and get Hendrickson potentially. You can restructure some things. So they haven't done a lot so far in free agency. Again, nothing is official until later at 4 o'clock. Yeah, a GM just texted Schultz. Baltimore's going to sign Hendrickson. Watch this. But man, the ripple effects from this are nuts. The ripple effects are nuts. Say, Tom Brady, a little crest on his hands. Yeah. Well, I think he's going to, according to Rossini, he failed the physical. Hang on, let me see. According to Rossini, let me check. Again, this is a developing situation. This is real. Yes, this is 100% real. This is 100,000% real. This is legit. Air back. Yep, this is big. What happened? The Ravens backed out of the trade. The Ravens backed out. Did not pass the physical. They did not pass the physical. So the Ravens saw an issue with the knee. Had to be with the knee because he's still recovering from that knee injury back in December. They wanted to play through, and the Raiders wouldn't allow it. You know, Valley make the back tournament? Yep, now they are, yep. How's this going to affect Mohammed's comeback against tops for the final? How does it affect LeBron's legacy? No, this is real. So, according to Rossini, again, take it with a grain of salt. Rossini is hit or miss at times, but Crosby did not pass the physical. He failed the physical in person, so he had to play Baltimore 8 to 9 games a year. So, again, this is legit. And now this opens up the door for a lot. Obviously, the Ravens have some cap space. Hendrickson, pretty similar player, pretty similar in age and production. Very, very similar players. One of them you can get, you know his health. You don't have to give up 2 first-round picks for him. The other one, the knee issue. Again, different teams have different standards for the physical. There are some teams where you can fail the physical and be totally fine. Some teams you can fail it, and there's a reason for it. We saw back with the Jets in the 2000s. Remember that trade with the Jets in the 2000s? I did a video on that a while ago. The Jets traded for a running back, and he played in the preseason. He was totally fine, but then he failed the physical. Yeah, Crosby Cowboys. I think Crosby Cowboys. Maxx Crosby Jaguars, man. Well, now with the knee issue, I don't know now. Because the Jags don't have a first-round pick. But we will see. Ravens are crazy. If you knew he has injury history, that could affect you to decide why make the deal. Well, you want to see how the knee's progressing. So, yeah, this is stunning. The two will get signed. Yep, Falcons. But it's not official. It can't be official till Wednesday. Or actually, no, it can be. Yeah, Tua got signed, yes, because he got released. He wasn't a free agent. He got released, so he's allowed to be signed, yep. Failing physical reason? Yep. Failing physical is the reason. Yep, failing physical is the reason. Some saying they're similar players. Well, I mean, in terms of production, in terms of pass rush. Obviously, I take a healthy Crosby over Hendrickson. That's easy. I'd rather take a healthy Crosby over a healthy Hendrickson. Like, that's not even close. But in terms of production, pretty similar numbers. Pretty similar numbers. Look at the last 4 seasons. Trey Hendrickson over the last 6 seasons, 74.5 sacks. Crosby over the last 6 seasons, 59.5 sacks. Yeah, he went through that. That's official. Yeah, Rangers looking stupid. Now they lost Lindy for nothing. Yep. Now you lose Lindy. Yep. Yeah, Rappaport now saying failed the physical. Yep. Again, this is a developing story, but right now it is official. It is official. Apparently, according to Garofolo, it is a medical reason as to why they backed out. Again, nothing was made official until 4 o'clock tomorrow when Ravens fan, I'm ticked off. Yeah, I'd be ticked off too. Be like, wait, the Ravens finished with the worst pass rush in football last season. The Ravens finished with the worst pass rush. Now you lose your starting center, who reset the market, maybe the best center in football. You lose your starting center because you couldn't afford him because you paid Crosby. And all of a sudden you lose Crosby with the failed physical. And this was a defense last year that really, really struggled getting to the quarterback. A lot of those fourth quarter drives, the emergency life was coming. Yep, medical issue. Yep, just to confirm medical issue. Yep, Ravens don't know how to feel. This is a bizarre thing. Ravens back out the Lindy deal? The Raiders? Well, the Raiders, I don't know why you would back out the Lindy deal. I mean, they can, but I don't know why you would. You got your franchise center, protect Mendoza. That's the whole point. No, I mean, they can. I mean, they can back out of it. It'd be a bad look for the Raiders because what free agent would want to sign with a team that would just back out of the agreement? This was a failed physical thing, so a little bit different there. Again, the Ravens last year, not great in the pass rush. They had 30 sacks all season. That was tied for the 3rd fewest in football. Only the Jets and the Niners finished with fewer. They did not get good pass rush at all. 4.6% of dropbacks, they got sacks. That's the 2nd worst total in football, only behind the Niners. Oh, the Ravens for revenge? Well, he's a free agent, so Linderbaum's a free agent. He's not on the roster. They didn't trade him to him. So, yeah, we'll take the risk out of the Ravens. Yeah, Bailey need help on defense. Yeah, unless you get Hendrickson. No, he didn't fail it on purpose. No, I doubt he failed it on purpose. That would make no sense to me. Why would they release a player based on penny deal? Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't do that. March go Miami? I mean, this is nuts. Do you ever some behind the scenes get the deal killed? Yeah, it's a medical issue as to why this happened, but the Maxx Crosby trade, one of the few times that its player got traded for multiple first-round picks that was an offender, it's off. It is off. 3 of the 4 guy at the moment. Yep. Trade never officially happened. No cap consequence. Nope. No cap consequence. They still have 24 hours to figure out the cap situation because it's not 24 hours, but 20 hours, whatever it is, to figure out the cap situation as it stands. Yeah, right now, entire AFC North is jump for joy. Yep. Yeah, I think it's the Cowboys now. Cowboys, as long as he passes the physical, and again, different teams have different standards for physical. Yeah, Lena was a free. Yep, you're good on that one, Ross. You're good on that one. Yeah, he's a free agent. But again, the Ravens last year, pass rush, absolutely atrocious. 3rd worst in the league in sacks. 2nd worst in the league in sack percentage. And now, you thought you were getting your premier pass rusher. You sit out the market. You sit out Owe, too. Yeah, they get the 14th pick back. Yes, they do. But you sit out the market. The thing, too, is that I know Owe got a lot of money with the Commanders, but you could have gotten Owe back after he had double-digit sacks last year with the Chargers, including the playoffs, with Jesse Minter. You missed out a double-digit sack guy, thinking Crosby's the guy. Unless they get Hendrickson, their pass rush is completely screwed. Yeah, Cowboys just sit on their hands. Yep, I think Cowboys are going to get him. Different pass rush? I don't know at this point. Unless they get Hendrickson. Yeah, one internation. Yep, this is real. Lions, I can see Lions potentially. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Crosby and Hutchinson. That would be an insane thing. The last trade this big that got called off, the last big trade, AJ McCarron with a fax machine. That's probably the closest I can see. A fire DC. How do you even do this trade if you don't know he's going to pass physical? Yeah, crazy. And you lose Linderbaum. You could have brought back Linderbaum at least. Now you're exactly where you were. You're back at square one with your pass rush being poor. You lose a big piece of your offensive line. Oh, I think the Raiders are going to be fine. The Raiders, they can trade Crosby. Again, it's not a league-wide physical. It's different physicals for different teams, so each team has different standards. And the Cowboys, they can take the offer back with the Cowboys and be totally fine. The Lions, I don't think can afford him. Yeah. Right, Trey's not saving the pass rush? No. But it's better than anything I got right now. Yeah, they also let Jones walk as well. Yep. Yeah, we'll be live for the USA game against Italy. That's going to start in about an hour. I'll redirect you to that stream when it's done. It just restarts for Clark, too, so they have the cap. Yep, Clark, Quinn and Williams. You could have some stuff there. Yeah, T.O., yeah, that was like 20 years ago. Yep. Yep, that's a big one. Yep, the Cowboys even attempt to go for him after the Gary trade with a 4th-round pick. You could. Again, that trade's not official either. Crazy part is that trade's not official either. Got to be something major if they're passing on Crosby. Yep, because this was done for a while, it seemed like. Yeah, Cowboys going for Crosby after trading Parsons because he was too old. Yeah, crazy. Crazy. Yeah, Kyrie was straight to the Celtics for IT and draft capital cap saw something physical. Yep. Paul with your any chance he just stays. Appreciate you, man. Based on the statement by the Raiders, I would say no. I would say unless his knee is that mangled that no team offers him anything, because he is an aging pass rusher coming off an injury, I don't think they keep him. Realistically, you're not going to... How much time for the stream? We'll be on until 8:45 Eastern. We'll be on until 8:45. Yeah, Raiders are not keeping Crosby. With a cap space, especially all the signings made for agency, and the other thing with Crosby staying, it's a rebuilding team right now. He doesn't fit the timeline. By the time the Raiders can realistically compete in, let's say, 2028, Crosby will be past his prime. Based on the statement by the Raiders, they want to deal Crosby. The Raiders get all the breaks nowadays. Yep. Well, this is not a break for the Raiders. I think they want to trade Crosby. Probably unless the Cowboys have some first-round picks. I could see that being a thing. But he's not going for 2 firsts. He might go for 2 firsts. Maybe. Depends on the physical. Again, just because one team flags him doesn't mean another team has to. We saw before we saw with the Jets back in the 2000s with a trade with a running back. He played a preseason game and failed a physical, but he was totally healthy. Yeah, Caleb on Chason. Yeah, he was good with the Pats. Yeah, Grenard could be on the market. Yeah, Hendrickson I think is going to be the top target. What happens with the trade? The trade got canceled. It never was made official. Backed out. They backed out. And give it 2 first-round picks, you got to be extremely careful. When you give up 2 first-round picks, you have to be extremely, extremely careful. You got to make sure you get it right. 2 first-round picks for a player that's on the older side of things, potentially. Packers with Brett Favre, yep. You know, team haven't formed physical before they even agree to a trade now. He'll do a physical, yeah. Yeah, every trade, there's a physical component to it. Every trade, there's a physical component. Dallas offered 1 first to D lineman a second. I think they did something. But they offered a pretty comparable package to the Ravens. Yeah, Reggie Saffelsog with the Raiders. Yep, and then sent with the Rams. Yeah, this is insane. Any team will take a chance on Maxx? 100% they'll take a chance on Maxx. And just because one team doesn't pass him on the physical doesn't mean other teams have to. And Maxx Crosby is a 5-time Pro Bowler. I mean, Maxx Crosby is one of the best pass rushers of the last decade. Crosby's actually hurt, or is this minor the Ravens getting cold feet? I think he's actually hurt. I think the Ravens saw something. Because why would they get cold feet? If they got cold feet, why would they make the trade in the first place? You knew the injury. It wasn't like this was a fluke injury. It's not like this was an injury that they didn't know about. We knew about this injury back in December. We knew about it a long time ago. And if you got cold feet, then you would have been proactive. You would have done it. You would have backed out of it before legal tampering starts. You could probably re-sign Linderbaum. Because now you're screwed if you're the Ravens. Now you did this entire free agency period thinking, we're going to get Maxx Crosby, and we're not going to pay Linderbaum because we're going to get Crosby and fix our pass rush. And now you got nothing. Yeah, physical went bad. Yep. Okay, a team forced physical for making a trade announcement. A team forced a physical for making an announcement. Well, did the Ravens even make an announcement? Because it wasn't even official. I didn't know if it was official. How's it going, Charles? I appreciate it tuning in. The Ravens must watch the tape where Sal Crosby couldn't be Pipkins all game. Like, did the Ravens ever announce, I don't see that they ever announced the trade in the first place. They weren't allowed to. You're not allowed to do anything until... And they just, vague tweeted, Yeah, found stuff from ESPN Alert. Yep. Yeah, it's like Ragnar trying to retire, only to realize his knee was hanging on by a thread. Yep. I mean, maybe Raiders weren't attacking on purpose to send Crosby. No, he was legitimately injured. I mean, we knew that. I mean, I thought we legitimately knew that. I want Crosby. I think we'll go switch to get him. Just draft LT, get a first round, then edge second round. Yeah. Obviously now the Cowboys are back in play. The Jaguars are back in play. And this impacts the Hendrickson market now too. Because now the Ravens could put a big offer on Hendrickson. And now Hendrickson is not the top person on the market, technically speaking. He was going to make his decision tomorrow, but now who knows? I'm worried that all these signings from yesterday now for nothing. Oh no, 99% of the time if a signing was made yesterday, it's going to happen. This is one of those things that's extremely rare. This is extremely rare. We don't want to get damaged goods, lose a bunch of capital, especially 2 first-round picks. No, tried to overreact with the Cowboys get Crosby, feeling better that win the East. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, Charter fans in the chat. Yep. What a retweet. Oh, wait, what a retweet. Again, I had to go live there. The Ravens one of the few teams to get worse this offseason. Well, they got better with the coaching set, but yeah, they got worse right now. Oh, that's great, Phillip Rivers. That's great. You know what team wants to be the asking price? Although right now, the asking price is going to come down. If you don't go the first wave or second wave, the asking price comes down a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Crosby now comes across as damaged goods. USA Italy, yes, we're doing that. No team show for more than Baltimore. Oh, no one's going to go more than Baltimore. No team's going to go more than 2 first-round picks. No team would go more than 2 first-round picks. Trade's not coming back to the Bengals. No, I think that bridge is burned. That bridge was burned years ago. Yeah, Mill Williams back down the Pats, but they upped their offer last second. Yep. Calais Campbell, same thing with the Jaguars, but then they re-upped it. You wonder which fan base is more distressed with this? Ravens. By far Ravens. Because you lost Linderbaum. Your pass rush is still a joke. You didn't sign Owen in free agency, even though we know he's good with Minner. I know he got a huge amount with the Commanders. Way too much. But you know he's good with Minner. And he fits in that system. You lost a lot of talent. You lost a lot of talent. Your defensive line is a mess. And you let Linderbaum walk because of that. And yet, you don't even get Crosby. Raiders are going to be fine. The Raiders will still get a good package for Crosby. Maybe not 2 first-rounders, but they could get a first and a high second. In the grand scheme of things, they'll be okay. In the grand scheme of things, unless the knee is that mangled, is that Hendrickson tonight same pace? They'll definitely try to. Yeah, Panthers get 19 at Crosby. Well, you need a lot more than that. I think it's going to be more than 1 first-round pick. But maybe a first and a second. We'll see now. He's not going to be with the Raiders this year. I would be very surprised, I will say. Be very, very surprised if Crosby is a Raider next year. Because they're rebuilding. They want the draft capital. Ravens are messed up. Yep. How does this work cap-wise? Well, the Ravens have $20 million in cap space. That's going to get freed up a little bit, so they can go after Hendrickson. Brown signed today. I don't hate it. Don't hate it. Ravens also lost Likely. Yep, he went to the Giants. Yep, they lost Likely. He went to New York. So they've lost a lot. Now, granted, EDC, he doesn't really sign free agents. EDC is big on the comp pick train. They always let free agents walk. But, yeah, pump the brakes right now. Yeah, one transaction just happened. Yep, failed trade. Yep. I don't fault the Rams if he's banged up. No, I don't fault him either. But you had to be more proactive. You had to be way more proactive. You had to know that, look, there's a possibility that the knee might not be there. You had to know that, look, he was coming off a knee injury that he was trying to play through. The knee might be a bit mangled. Let's get this done with a physical before legal tampering starts. I don't know if the details of the physical get out. We know it was a failed physical, but usually the details themselves, I don't know. Usually that stays under wraps. We just know failed physical. Yeah, the tree tweet's great, yeah. Yeah, Bills or Cowboys try to trip him. They don't like the physical. You just lost a couple of days competing. Yep. Lamar Henry Flowers trying to name another good player that could anchor a run for the Ravens. Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton's really good. But yeah, it's tough right now. It's tough. Like, the Ravens need to be more proactive. They need to be way more proactive. Right, trade you're more comfortable with. Yeah, free agency, sign a guy, you don't give him anything except cap space. That's one thing, Vaughn. Yep, absolutely on that. But just a crazy situation right now. Crazy situation. And again, the Ravens need to be way more proactive. If they were that worried about the knee, they need to be way more proactive. Right, but it's not a secret. I mean, we knew the knee was mangled. We knew that there was something with the knee, seeing as he was hurt last year. That was the worst kept. It wasn't even a secret. Like, we knew there was something with the knee. Number 2 in the AFC, I would say right now Jacksonville. Yeah, I go Jacksonville. Yeah, some of this big, yeah, it's got to leak. Yeah, this news hurts. Yes, it does. Hurts for the Raiders, but I think they'll be okay. They'll find a trade partner, probably the Cowboys. But the Ravens, man, you let all free agency pass you by, and only for this to happen. Man, Cowboys football gods for once. Now this changes a lot. Again, vote on that poll. Who do you think it's going to go to? Ravens are officially over the hump. I think it's all downhill for a few years. Yeah, although I like Minner as head coach. Raiders look good now for making him sit the last 2 games since the will. Yep. I mean, we knew he was playing hurt for a while. The fact that people were saying they were sitting for tanking purposes, that's insane to me. Ravens sit for Jonathan Grenard now from the Vikings. He was not great last season, but I could see it. They got to do something. They let free agency pass him by. Unless they get Hendrickson, I think they could do that. Yeah, my guess is Grenard. If they don't get Hendrickson, I'm guessing Grenard on that one. Yeah, we'll see Keller on that one. We'll see. I want to see what we do. I want to see what we do, but we will see. You hard to speak on compensation now. We don't know what they saw. The Ravens spooked him. Yeah, remember, too, like I said before, physicals for different teams are very different. Some teams, they see stuff, and it's like, you're good. Some teams, they see stuff, it's like, wait a second, time out here. So it's not a league-wide physical, so it's a little bit different. But candidates try. Nope. Pats offer first, second, and fifth. No, candidates try. No, why not? Henderson to the Ravens. Yeah, I think they're going to go in for Hendrickson. Yeah, this might be your thing next year. Fingers crossed on that one. You know, if it's bad luck, it might just be the Ravens medical staff doing their due diligence. It might be, but you got to be more proactive. You knew the knee could have been messed up, so why do the physical right now? Why not do the physical beforehand? Why not iron out? You probably iron out the details of the combine. Why not do the physical beforehand so you knew? The Raiders get desperate and do an interdivision trade. I would be very surprised. Usually, you don't see interdivision trades unless the player is completely out of their prime. You'd be very, very surprised. Who wins the North? Right now, it's bad. I still go Ravens, but it's close. Maybe the Bengals, actually. I know the Bengals with that defense getting better. Yeah, but on 29. Yeah, I think they could be Kansas State. Do we that guy more the chance he's done? I'd be very surprised. Be very, very surprised. Career ender. Again, different teams have different standards of physicals. Crosby, by all accounts, is okay. Like, he wants to play. So, I don't think he's done. Be very surprised if he's completely done. So, yeah, my knee, yep. There you go, ideal. There you go on that one. Not good for the Reds because you can be pursuing free agents. Yep, you could have been pursuing Owe. You knew Owe was good. Obviously, you know Owe well. You drafted him a couple of years ago. You knew he was good because when you traded him to the Chargers and Jesse Minter was there, he got double-digit sacks. So you could have done that. There were some big free agents they just let pass by thinking you got your guy with Crosby and you were big caps tied. Now, not so much. Yeah, Devontae Peterson. Yeah, it's not going to be Boozer. Yeah, I think Devontae's a safer pick. Peterson with the character issues, I'm not sure. Yeah, they upgraded coach. Yeah, other than that, they have not upgraded anything. Part of me thinks it's going to play out like Breeze where Crosby goes somewhere, dominates some Ravens collapse. Yeah, I could see that. I really think Crosby's going to be okay. Again, the knee in March is a little bit different than the knee in July. Remember, the season doesn't start for 6 months. Scissor with a 2, appreciate you, man. Dallas show for 20 D linemen and second Maxx. Yeah. Look, the Cowboys were the runners-up last for the deal. The Cowboys were the runner-ups. I could definitely see the Cowboys getting back into the mix. I like to believe that the team doctors across the board use the same standards. Well, remember, the Chargers doctor punctured Tyrod Taylor's ribs, so different doctors, different, yeah. Right, he's going to be okay to start now, yeah. You have to remember, too, this is not a mid-season trade. If this was a mid-season trade, different story. Mid-season trade, the Ravens see something with the knee, they're spooked, and it's November, okay, that might be a cause for alarm. But remember, this is March. We knew he had surgery. It's going to look a lot different in 6 months. So, wherever the Ravens saw, I'm not sure. But you have to figure the knee will be better before the season starts. From all accounts, this is not like there was a setback on the surgery like Deshaun Watson had. This is the fact the Raiders' salary cap and their signings? I don't think so. No, not too much. They still are about $30 million over the cap. They're still okay. Even with all the movies they made, they still have a ton of cap space. They signed a lot of guys, but they still, by all projections, have about $30 million in cap space, even with Crosby coming back. $50 million before. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Think Bills and Cowboys go full force for Crosby? Yeah. Yeah, why the Cowboys haven't spent a lot, Bills have it? Yeah, I don't know. Baltimore got the physical info, went back to the Raiders to address and modify the deal. They refused. Yeah, probably. Wouldn't shock me on that. Wouldn't shock me. B wants to keep draft capital and improve himself with hits. Yeah. Yeah, because he's not spending a lot for agency right now. Am I getting picks until we get deeper in the new league year? Yeah, I'm not making any picks until the draft is done. No, until the draft is done, I'm not making any picks. Yeah, once everyone does, yeah, I get that on that one. Because if you have an issue with the knee, obviously 2 first-round picks is a heavy price to pay for a guy over the hump, potentially. Guy's coming on the wrong side of 30. Wow, that one, Simmer. Wow, that one. But, again, we still have 6 months till the season starts. You figure Crosby's going to be okay. The surgery apparently went well. So it's mangled now, but it's going to be fine later on, you would think. So, again, it's a developing situation. We know Crosby failed his physical. We're assuming it's because of the knee. But it's obviously a developing situation. Maybe the biggest failed trade of all time. Maybe the biggest failed trade. Like we've seen some failed trades before. AJ McCarron. We've seen the Saints, Eagles with the long snapper, John Durambos. We've seen failed trades before with physicals, but nothing quite like this. Yeah, needs to push all your chips to the front of the table. Yep, in win now mode. I get you on that one, Dexy. Yeah, the price of 2 first got cold feet, seeing the injury. Yeah, but again, if you did that, then why'd you make the trade in the first place? And also, why would you not be proactive with the physical? And why would you not be proactive with the physical? And let Linderbaum walk and let Likely walk, like all these guys walk. But Likely, I mean, he's a tight end too for them. Yeah, Fury go training camp on the PUP list for the physical, maybe, but it's not going to take him long to learn the defense. College Baseball Stadium, I do like Coastal Carolina Stadium. Coastal Carolina Stadium is really, really nice. Right, no, wrong side, right, he's 28, right. He's 28, but he will be on the wrong side of 30 soon. What I mean by that is that by the time you have your next first-round pick, he would be on the wrong side of 30. That's what I mean by that. Like, he's a guy that could be out of his prime in a little bit. He'll be 29 when the season starts. That's what I mean by that, right? Right now, he's okay. But by the time you have your first-round pick back, he's on the wrong side of 30. Yeah, if he gets Crosby again, that would change a lot. But we will see. Again, the Cowboys seem to be the favorite, according to Schultz, according to Ari. Wrong side of 20. Moby Okoye was on the right side of 20 when the Texans drafted him. Right, 29 August. Yep, 29 August. By the time you have your next first-round pick, he'll be 30. Yeah, the biggest failed trade of all time, by far. By far. We've seen some big ones before. Agent McCarron comes to mind. T.O. comes to mind. But this is by far, for 2 first-round picks, I've never seen a trade for 2 first-round picks fail like that. And the injury is really serious. Yeah, I mean, otherwise the Ravens would have backed out. But you have to remember, too, he just got surgery. a couple months ago, you have to figure the knee will be better. So, if you knew there was an issue with the knee, and it's not like this came out of nowhere, why would you wait this long to do the physical and let free agency pass you by? This does not make sense for the Ravens. Yeah, they flop. Well, the Raiders flopped hard? No, the Raiders didn't flop hard. No, the Raiders didn't flop hard. They'll be okay. They'll trade Crosby somewhere, and they'll still get a first-round pick and maybe a second. The Cowboys are going to be there. The Ravens, that's the issue. The Ravens let free agency pass them by, and we're not proactive on the physical. Yeah, Ravens back on the trade was huge. If I had a nickel for every time the Ravens back to have a trade, you Cowboys just spend a lot. Don't say they work around the cap. Well, the Gary trade's not official yet for them. The Gary trade's not official. The Cowboys right now they don't have a lot of cap space. They actually are negative in cap space, but we'll see. Yeah, McCarron, yeah, he was not a big name player, no, but just the way it happened. It was a second-round pick, a second and third round pick. Yeah, the McCarron trade was hilarious. Yeah, physical, if that's true, will stay a Raider. But again, different teams have different standards for physicals. So right, 2 first-round picks, probably not 2 first-round picks. Maybe a first and a second. You're still going to get a good capital for him. Maybe not first round pick, but you'll get good capital. Like, he won't be a Raider next year. Ravens to screw Lamar, yeah. I mean, I don't get what the Ravens are doing. Even if the knee's angle, if you knew that was a possibility going in, it's not like he was totally healthy and then came out of nowhere. We knew Crosby was hurt. We knew that. Yeah, Matt Snell, absolute legend. Should have been the MVP of Super Bowl 3. He should have been the MVP. Ravens can still make moves. Raiders might not get the same deal again. Fair, but the Ravens, they let Linderbaum walk because they couldn't afford him because they were trying to get Crosby, and now you lose one of the best center, maybe the best center in football. Like, it's a little bit different there. Do the Bears have the cap to do the trade? The Bears right now are 24th in cap space. They have just under $10 million. They have to restructure some stuff and get rid of some stuff. It would take some maneuvering. I know, I'll put it this way, though. The Jaguars were in on Crosby, and they have more space than, they have like the same cap space as the Bears. Yeah, the Ravens get them back. Yes, the Ravens get the picks back. Yeah, the trade never happened. So they get the picks back. Yep. They have their 26th and 27th first round picks now. Yep. Could be awkward for Maxx in Vegas. Yep. Although I think he's going to get traded. I think he'll get traded. The Raiders aren't keeping him. You don't make a statement like that. The way the Raiders made that statement shows we really want to get this done. Monson could go for 40. You could. You learned about was always going to test the market. Yeah, but you could have brought him back. You could have brought him back on that one. Or you could have franchised him. You could have franchised Linderbaum. Why couldn't you franchise him and make it a long-term deal done? You could have franchised Linderbaum. I mean, he gets top 5 center money. I mean, you could have franchised him, but he didn't because we were going to go Crosby, potentially. Bosa signs in San Fran. I'm going to say fact on that one. Niners have a chance at getting him. Oh, man. I mean, the Evans deal was a lot less than people thought. It was only $12 million a year or $14 million a year, not $20 million a year. I mean, Niners need some pass rush. The only team worse in pass rush last year than Baltimore was San Fran in terms of percentage, in terms of sack percentage. So I could see it. I could see Lynch being aggressive. The Raiders still keep their size. Oh, yeah, they will. They still have cap space. Even if Crosby comes back, they still are over. Even if Crosby comes back, they still have about $25 million in cap space, not including all the signings they made. Santa Clara, after winning yesterday, yep, they're 100% in. That game got them off the bubble and in. Santa Clara's in. Ravens will address center in the draft or edge. I think you got to go both, but I would assume edge first, unless they sign Hendrickson or trade for Grenard in the coming weeks. Yeah, Baltimore has gotten them big time. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Just a crazy, crazy situation. Now the draft becomes a lot more interesting. Yep. A lot more interesting. And we'll see what the Raiders can get for Crosby now. Again, Cowboys were in. The Jaguars were in. They put in a good package, apparently. They were the third. Mendoza's salary? Well, it's rookie wage scale, so probably like $10 million, I'm guessing. You always speculate the Cowboys will back out the Gary trade. Yeah, because that's not official either. I don't think they will, but I think backing out of a trade because of a physical is one thing. Backing out of a trade because something else became available, I'm not sure that's great. I'm not sure that would happen. But again, it's not official yet. It's not official. But they need something faster. Ravens need something fast with their center. Yeah, Mendoza, he gets what Cam Moore got last year. So, like, usually great center sucks, but they still have other options out there. Even let a lot of their own free agents walk. They let a lot of their own free agents walk. Yeah, rookie salary. Yep, he gets first overall pick salary. So, it's not like Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, draft's going to be unpredictable outside of one. We know one, I think two is going to be Reese, but then after that, who the heck knows? Who the heck knows at this point? But yeah, if you're just tuning in the breaking news, Maxx Crosby, the trade is called off. He will stay with the Raiders for the moment. The Ravens get their first round picks back. The stream is going to redirect you to USA Italy when we're off in about, I'd say about 10 minutes time. I'll get the emojis in and get everything set up for that one. Yeah, this draft is going to be absolutely insane. But obviously right now, Hendrickson's available on the market. If the Ravens can get a healthy Hendrickson, no harm done, technically speaking, and you keep your 2 first-round picks, because Hendrickson is not on the first wave or second wave. Obviously, Jacksonville is Jacksonville is a possibility. Toyota with a 10. I appreciate you a 10 on that one. Jerry Jones trying to wait for Crosby to pass the physical if he goes south. Yep. Crosby's like half the league. Yeah, but they like top 5 guys in that position go. I know they let a lot of free agents walk. They're big on comp picks, but they let a lot of guys like top of their position. I mean, they cleared $30 million in cap space. Appreciate you a ton on that one, Toyota. Like, this was a little bit different. Sports talk. This is a little bit different. The Ravens intentionally restructured and cut some guys and cleared $30 million in cap space just so that they could afford Crosby. And now it's for nothing. Again, this is not like most teams. I would have feeling. Yep. They could get a cheaper option. They could. Appreciate you a ton on that one, Toyota. Appreciate you a ton. Jackson getting Crosby. If the need's okay, yeah, I would love that. I'm the F them picks mentality right now with the first round picks. I'm with that. Age 94. Well, not 94. But again, this is but he should be the MVP of Super Bowl 3. I agree with you on that one. But again, the Jaguars win the running for Crosby. Cowboys win the running for Crosby. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Bucks chose Bulls over Mike Evans. Yeah, for only $14 million too. That's insanely cheap for Mike Evans. I appreciate you, Toyo. That means a lot to me with a 10. I appreciate you a 10 on that one. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate you, man. But again, the Ravens intentionally cleared cap space to sign Crosby. They got rid of guys. They let guys walk that they would have otherwise let walk. They cleared $30 million over the last week just so that they could afford Crosby and get their passwords sorted out. And now they don't have it. Yeah, the ticker LED, the glass LED has been they're going through some program renovations. Yeah, the crazy landslide implications for the trade strategy for the rest of the league. Oh yeah, because now it impacts Hendrickson. It impacts potentially the Gary trade. We'll see on that one, Sports Talk. We'll see how the Knicks trade affect Mama Kelsey's house renovation. She had to stop because she was shocked by the news. So now instead of being 15% done, it's only 14% done. Yeah, Niners, if they can, they're back to being contenders. Absolutely. But yeah, this is going to be insane. Can't imagine how fellas the appraisers go to your boss and be like, look, man, this isn't worth it. Yep. Oh, man. Have a lawsuit on their hands? No, no lawsuit. Nothing's official yet. The trade's not official. Nothing can be made official until trades go through all the time. Now, granted, this is the most shocking trade to ever fall through and for the most capital, but there's no lawsuit here. No trade's official until Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern when the league year starts. You fail a physical. Yep, you fail a physical. Ravens falling when they realized to get Henderson for cheap? No, because they intentionally cleared all this space, I think. They cleared all this space thinking they were going to get Crosby. Ravens used their free cap stuff Mom Kelsey's house. Yep. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, crazy. Agreement met between agent and team. Yeah, but there's always a physical component. If they fail the physical, and there's nothing. If you fail the physical, you're allowed to rescind on a trade for a failed physical, and the trade wasn't official. The trade hadn't happened. And both teams get screwed over by this, but I think the Ravens get screwed over the most because you cleared all this cap space, you let free agency pass you by. You could have gotten Owe, who you know well, and he had 10 sacks last year with the Chargers with Minner as the DC in half a season, and now here we are. Yeah, Donna Kelsey's home renovation is why the trade fell through. Yep. Yeah, back to because of failed physical. Yep. I mean, but you can always bet. There's not going to be a lawsuit, Jugga. It happens. It happens. Obviously, for the capital, this is insane. Something Ravens saving the picks and spending money for smaller but still impactful for agency. Well, I think now they have to reevaluate the whole strategy. It's a plan B. They have to reevaluate the strategy. Who's wearing 98 now? I'm not sure. I am not sure who's wearing 98 at this point. The guy they draft? Imagine that they draft? Man, yeah, crazy Kevin. Yep, that was my reaction. When I saw the news, I'm like, I gotta go live. Well, can they poach players who've already agreed to deals? They can. Yeah, they can do that. It's happened before. We saw with the Eagles, Frank Gore. Remember, he was the Eagles legend. The Eagles, the Colts then poached him. Calais Campbell, he went to the Jaguars. The Broncos tried poaching him. They gave an offer last second for Campbell, and Campbell then stayed in Jacksonville after they re-upped the offer, but Campbell he got poached by the Broncos for a moment. Frank Gore, it's happened before. Yeah, nothing's official yet until 4 o'clock on Wednesday. So they can do that. They can do that. Raiders should turn around and trade Crosby for an line to protect Mendoza. Easier said than done. Easier said than done on that. I want the draft capital. I want rookie contracts. When in a rebuilding team, I want rookie contracts. Gear with the fiver. Gear Trail, appreciate you, man. The Ravens backed off. Yep, failed physical. Yep. Maxx and free agent. Nope, he's still under contract. He's still under contract by the how's it going? I appreciate it, he's still under contract by the Raiders. So he just reverts back to the Raiders, and the Raiders try to deal him again. But he's not a free agent. Yeah, Chris Jones. Ooh, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Yeah, Gino's a Jet. I don't hate it. You move back 20 spots in the draft, get a veteran quarterback. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It could be a lot worse. Don't want Chris Jones now. Rose got the same deal with other teams. Yeah, ultimate Warriors are long-term losers overall. Depends where they get. I mean, look, the Cowboys and Jags are still very interested in Crosby. The Cowboys have done nothing, really. The Jaguars have done nothing. And the Jags and Cowboys were the top two teams outside of the Ravens who were in on Crosby. They could still be aggressive. Titanium with a 5. This makes the Raiders' choice of Benjamin a lot less tanky. Oh, yeah, 100%. We knew he was playing hurt. We knew he was playing very, very hurt. We knew that. Crosby wanted to power through because he's a warrior, and he's tough like that, but we knew he was hurt. Like, if you need surgery, like, it's not really a tank thing if the Raiders want to sit you and then you need to get surgery. That's not really a thing. How's it going, Ari? Appreciate it tuning in. Yeah, Dak haven't killed the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't like your trade on that one. Yeah, Chris Jones past his prime. Yeah, wouldn't be for that. I don't think so. I don't think. Tell me use college basketball terms. Oh, man. Team signs the #1 recruit in the country, and he then backs out of the NIL deal because he backs out of the deal. #1 recruit in the country decides to decommit. Yeah, any doubt's been erased. Yeah, 100%. Any doubt's been erased. Any doubt has been erased. Absolutely on that. Absolutely on that. Let's change the emojis. And can you imagine how salty Ravens fans would be if Bills got Crosby with his Super Bowl? Oh, man. So were the Cowboys were on Crosby? Apparently they were. No, apparently they weren't on Crosby. According to multiple sources. According to multiple sources, they weren't on Crosby. Tornado? What tornado? I live in Arizona, so I didn't hear about the tornado. Yeah, the Cowboys, according to Schefter. Yeah, well, the Raiders, they're still okay. The Raiders they still have $20 million in cap space. Not including the guys they signed. So they're still fine. The Raiders are still fine in cap space. But yeah, the Cowboys were willing to give a first and a second to the Raiders for Crosby. The Raiders will only go for a first and a second. Or the Cowboys will only go for a first and a second. Now it gets interesting, because now Cowboys don't have cap space right now because of the Gary trade and some other moves they made. They are dead last in cap space. Jaguars, they could go second and a first. They still have 3 round 3 picks. Jaguars could go second and 2027 first. Maybe Dallas Cole and Crosby with the run series. Not according to Schefter. According to Schefter, it was a first and a second. The issue now is that Crosby was more injured than we thought. Although, but again, he had surgery. He's going to get better. We know he's going to get better. We knew he was hurt because he had surgery. Again, different teams have different standards for physicals, so it might be a little bit different. Maybe the Baltimore doctors got scared off by precedent of some kind, or someone saw something there, but other teams didn't. Look, we see it all the time in the NFL draft. Look at how many players of the draft they get taken off some teams' boards because of a medical issue, and then the medical issue never materializes. Like Anthony Munoz. Look at Anthony Munoz back with the Bengals. One of the reasons I don't want to say slipped, but one of the reasons he wasn't taken as high in the draft was because some teams were worried about his knees. Worked out pretty fine. Bengals took him. He became maybe the greatest tackle of all time. Look at Drew Brees. That's a prime example. Dolphins were scared off by his physical, so he went to the Saints. Didn't really get hurt there. Looked fine. Hall of Famer. So, again, it varies based on team. Just because the Ravens saw something doesn't mean it's the end-all be-all. And that's what makes this very, very interesting. Makes this extremely interesting. But again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to sign off in like 5 minutes because I get ready for the USA-Italy game. That's going to start in a little bit. You've heard of Mr. the Jack? Yep. Yep, or they're, look, like Miles Jack is a good example. Miles Jack, there was like some degenerative knee issue with Miles Jack. And Miles Jack fell the second round. He was probably going to be a top 10 pick in 2016. Jaguars took him, and he was great with the Jaguars. And the knee was fine. I mean, Jay Ajayi, people were wondering if he was even going to play. Remember him? He was supposed to be like a second-round pick out of Boise in 2015. People wondered if he was going to play. He fell the 5th round, had a pretty good career. Short career. The knee eventually caught up with him, but he was very solid for a long time. When I'm out to say, yeah. But Jack was fine. Jack never got hurt. Jack was fine. He recovered fully, yeah, but he was still really good. Ravens' chance to trade just shot up, yeah. Yes, definitely, because they need a pass rusher, and he's the best one on the market. They let free agency pass him by without getting anyone. So yeah, it definitely shot up on that one. Absolutely, it shot up. Like, there are some times where the medical issue is completely legit, and the doctors are right. Sometimes different teams, different folks, yeah. One team failed physical, it could cause their team to be afraid. 100%. I think every team's cautious. I think you're right on that one. There's no denying that. Every team is cautious at this point. We're supposed to be top 5. Yep, then he slipped the second round, but he turned out to have a very good career. We got Ramsey and Jack in the same draft. Glad the Bucks didn't reach for him. Last thing he is another injured player. Yep. I get that. I get that. But you 2028 pick, take your pick. How about a 5th? I do for that. Well, born September 3rd, 95. Nice. I think every team is going to be cautious. I think that's obvious. I mean, no one's going in blind at this point to Crosby. But I think you have to also be mindful of the fact that, look, this is a guy that's coming off surgery. The surgery went well. It's not like there was a setback like there was with Watson. Like, it's a guy that's coming off surgery. There's going to be some issues with the knee. You're not going to be fully healthy off of surgery. The season is starting for another 6 months. It's not a mid-season trade. Where's the most stunning news ranking? I don't know. I think it's the Ravens cleared all that cap space and multiple first-round picks, and they did, both teams did their entire plan thinking it was going to go through. It's stunning. I don't know how to rank it, but it's stunning. 2027 first, 28 second, 28 fifth. I do it. I do that, right. In addition to that, too, yeah. Jared Jones, what are you doing? Aubrey? Yeah, I don't know why if they let Aubrey walk, they're insane. If they let a weapon like him walk, they are absolutely insane. That'd be a huge mistake, letting Aubrey walk. I did a second-round tender on him, though, so... I would if someone offers a second-round pick, they can match or they get a second-round pick, but I would match everything. I would match everything. Because that's nuts to me. Yeah, but it's stunning. Obviously, this is absolutely stunning news. No one saw this coming. There's a reason we did emergency live stream, because this is absolutely stunning. A developing story. I'm sure we'll know more as the night goes on. Obviously, we'll see some offers. The Raiders are going to be working the phones all night trying to see if the Jags are back in, the Cowboys are back in. I think it's a fair trade, yeah. I think it's a fair trade. Yeah, Detroit up and Hofstra up by 6. Yep. Imagine we send the market on a kicker. Yep. Although he's a different kind of kicker. First and Thomas to Vegas for Crosby. I would do that. I would do that. But obviously, the Raiders are going to want to make some moves quick. Want to see if they can trade Crosby in the next 24 hours before the league year starts. They still have plenty of cap space. Again, even with Crosby back on the team, they'll have $20 million. While he's ready in a dome, he's good outside of the dome too. Remember, if Mike McCarthy didn't ice his own kicker, or Mike McCarthy didn't call a timeout, I should say, for the delay of the game penalty, he would have set the record at the time in Cleveland. I said Thomas, yeah, last year, not this year, obviously. I said Thomas was top 5. I said he could be top 5 back in 24. Obviously, 25, a lot changed. But I do like Thomas a lot. But I trade for Crosby, yeah. Because we still have Washington, still have Hunter. We still have Joey Myers. Yeah, that's easy. Get Crosby, Walker, and Hines on the D-line, man. And we'll see what the Jags do. We'll see what the Cowboys do. But obviously, a lot has changed. See what the Ravens do now. Try to go after Hendrickson. We will see. But there you go. Maxx Crosby, right, was top 5. Yes. 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 Not anymore. Right, was. Key emphasis on was. Yep. Key emphasis on was. So, we'll talk more about this in a little bit. It's been cinema. Yep. It's been chef's kiss. We'll talk more about this in a little bit. But USA-Italy going to start in just about 20 minutes for the World Baseball Classic. USA 3-0 in pool play, looking to go to 4-0 and punch their ticket into the quarterfinals. Oh, no. Oh, you're right on that one, Cujo. Yep. Right, now he's not. Like, I'm not crazy. Now he's not, but he was. Yes, he was top 5, I think. He was top 5. You're right on that one. Yes. I did say that. I did say he was, like, number 5. He was in that competition for 5, and I'd probably put him at 5 right now. Now, not so much. Now, I would not. But back then, yes. Yeah, sophomore slump for sure. So, I'll see you guys in, like, 15 minutes for USA-Italy. It's going to redirect you to that stream automatically. Appreciate you guys a ton. And, again, Maxx Crosby, the deal is off. They get their picks back, and now we wait to see what the heck happens.